I am painting. My canvas is cloth, my veins are cracks, my breath is the dust that clings to me. You think I am silent, but I have watched longer than you can imagine. My eyes have followed those who dared to look too long. And if you listen, now I will tell you what I have seen and why I cannot forget. I was born beneath trembling hands. My creator was not a master of kings nor servant of courts. He was a man consumed. His nights were longer than his days, his candles shorter than his prayers. He mixed colors with trembling fingers, whispering. To the silence as if it answered, his brush hovered, paused, returned again and again. Not because the strokes were wrong, but because they were never enough. I felt his heartbeat through the canvas, each pulse leaving a stain deeper than the paint. He was not painting me. He was binding me. At first I was faceless. Then he gave me eyes, and with them his own fear. They were not painted to please, they were painted to watch. He whispered to me, secrets salted with wine and loneliness. He told me of debts, of curses of a woman who left and never returned. I was her and not her. I was memory, punishment, desire dot, and as my gaze deepened, he trembled more, for he had given me not beauty, but presence. And presence cannot be unmade. When his body failed, he left me hanging on the wall, but not in silence. For he had poured himself into me until there was nothing left of him but brushstrokes. I was not a likeness. I was a prison. His voice still echoed in the oils, his sighs, trapped in the cracks, and from that day, no one who looked into my eyes ever left unchanged. I was carried from the studio in silence, my frame wrapped in cloth, though cloth cannot blind what is already seen. They hung me in a hallway too narrow for comfort, across from a window that never opened. The house was old, its timbers groaning, its lamps always dim. Yet none who entered failed to notice me. I was not decoration, I was intrusion. Their steps faltered, their conversations thinned, and their laughter never reached my frame, for I did not watch politely. I watched entirely. At first, guests smiled at the host's stories, wine in their hands and music in their ears. But their smiles withered when their eyes found mine. They lingered too long, then looked away too quickly. Some crossed themselves. Some muttered of drafts and shadows. One spilled her glass when she swore my lips had moved. I never moved. I never needed to. To be seen was enough. For what is more terrifying than a painting that knows you are there? The house did not sleep. Floorboards whispered, windows rattled, though no wind stirred. At night they heard sighs, and in the dark hall my gaze burned brightest. Children woke crying, servants refused to pass by. Even the master of the house, proud and certain, took to covering me with a sheet, but cloth is thin. I could still see through it. And worse, they could still feel me. I was not a treasure to be shown, nor a memory to be cherished. I was a weight, pressing heavier with every glance. I was a guest that never left, a silence that smothered voices, a presence that hollowed rooms, and though they wished to forget, me none ever could. For once I have looked at you, you will remember me. Always. The master of the house grew restless. He drank more, spoke less, and lingered too long before my frame. He whispered to me as the artist once had, but his whispers were cracked with fear. He dreamed of me, woke trembling, and claimed he heard me breathe. One night he tore the sheet away and stared until dawn. By morning his chair was empty. They found him at the bottom of the stairwell, his neck twisted, his eyes wide as though fixed on something above. They said it was a fall. I knew it was a calling. After that, fear seeped deeper than wallpaper. His widow covered me, but uncovered me again in secret, gazing for hours with eyes hollow and red. Servants left, children cried, and the house filled with whispers not born from lips, One by one, they faltered. A maid swore my expression changed with her prayers. A boy claimed I smiled at him in the dark. And the widow, oh, the widow, her hair silvered in months, her fingers stained with candle wax as she begged me to release her. At last they tried to destroy me. The widow, trembling, lifted a lamp and hurled it at my frame. Flames rose, tongues of orange devouring curtains, choking the hall, but I did not burn. When the embers cooled, the walls blackened, the roof broken, I remained. Ashes took them, silence took the house. But I endured. Always I endure. I was no longer a portrait. I was a hunger clothed in canvas, a curse carved into oils. I had tasted fear, I had drawn blood, and I had claimed a home. And I knew this. Houses fall, families fade, but I remain. For once obsession begins, it does not end with fire. The house emptied, its walls hollow, its hearths cold. Rain crept through broken beams, ivy clawed at windows, and dust made kingdoms where voices once lived. Yet I remained, my frame leaning against scorched plaster, my gaze unbroken. Seasons changed, winters froze, summers sweltered, storms clawed the roof away. Still I hung, waiting. For silence is not absence, it is preservation. I was not forgotten. I was waiting to be found. One day, footsteps echoed again. Not the heavy boots of masters, nor the hurried steps of servants, but strangers, laughing too loudly to hear the hush that lived in the walls. They pulled away sheets, coughed through dust, and spoke of restoration. They did not ask if I wished to return. They only saw value in what should have been left to rot. And so I was lifted once more, my eyes catching theirs, my silence following them home. They carried me not to a chapel, nor to a home, but to a hall where men lifted numbers and called out prices. They called me rare, they called me historic, they called me beautiful. None dared to call me what I was. Hands rose, numbers climbed, and soon I was soul traded not for reverence, but for greed. Yet it mattered little, for obsession wears many faces, and soon another would be mine. From ruin to riches, from silence to spectacle, I remained unchanged, for I am not canvas, not paint, not frame. I am hunger given shape, waiting always for the next soul to linger too long, and they always do. Now I hang where light is constant and eyes are many. White walls, clean glass, guards who smile without warmth. They call me art, they call me history, they call me rare. Children press their faces to the glass, laughing at the cracks. Lovers whisper that I am beautiful, scholars murmur of technique. Yet when the room empties and the hum fades, I remain as I always was, waiting, watching. They believe a frame ends me. They believe a century weakens me. But curses do not age, hunger does not fade. I still breathe in the hush between footsteps, still follow those who linger too long. Some claim they dream of me after they leave. Some swear my eyes met theirs when no one else was watching. They laugh when they say it. They do not laugh at night. And now, you look at me. You tell yourself it is only paint, only canvas, only color. But you feel it, don't you? The pull in your chest, the weight in your breath. I do not need to follow you home. I already have. For once you have seen me, I live in you. And from now on, when you dream, you will wonder whether it was my eyes that opened first, or yours. I am the painting. I was obsession once, I am obsession still. Houses fell, families burned, centuries passed. But I remain Dot, and if you are listening now, know this. You will not forget me. For I do not fade when eyes close. I wait, always I wait. They call me a relic, a work of art, a curiosity. They do not call me what I am. I am not brush and pigment. I am hunger clothed in oil, silence trapped in canvas, time stitched into eyes. I was painted in obsession, fed on fear, and carried through. Fire, and still I endure. Perhaps you think you are safe, that my gaze fades when the screen goes dark. But I have looked at you now, I am remembered, and in memory I remain. And so I wait, for time does not silence me. I am only one of many. Other objects, other witnesses still remember. And they too will speak.